It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction video 148. Day in the neighborhood, my people. We about to take it back to a channel, bro, that we only watched one video from, y'all. We only checked this channel out one time, a couple of days ago. But the video was so good, the way he edited it, just the whole package, how he put it together, bro. Dude did a great job, man. He's a great narrator also. So we finna go back to him right now. And that channel is Just Thought Lounge. Right back to Just Thought Lounge, man. Finna check another video out. And the title of this one is Maniac. The Waukesha or Waukesha. It's one of them. Christmas Parade Murders and the Trial of Darrell Brooks. Christmas Parade Murders, bro. That's why I picked this video for today, bro, cause Thanksgiving, like, 2 days from now? Yeah, it's like 2 days from now. Christmas right around the corner. And you know, a lot of people love to go to parades, bro. So just to imagine being at a parade and a fucking shootout happen or anything where not even just people, bro, a lot of kids. This where a family goes. This where parents take their children to have a good time. And for some shit like this to happen, oh man. I don't know how the story finna really go, but before we see how it finna go, get whatever you may need. Get what you need, man, so we can see what the hell happened at this parade, bro. Y'all got what y'all need, y'all ready to see? Then let's fucking see.
I have to step in here and request that Mr. Brooks be instructed to stop making comments under his breath. This witness is very clearly having an emotional and difficult time testifying, and she doesn't need to hear that.
Objection, she can't hear anything I'm saying.
Mr. Brooks, the mics are very good in this courtroom.
Okay, seem like he don't give a fuck. Seem like he have no remorse for what he did.
Hi everyone, I'm Kevin, and this is Just Thought Lounge. JTL is the true crime channel that delivers serious, well-balanced coverage of the cases that really make you think. Today we're taking a look at the shocking and tragic events that took place at the annual Christmas parade in Waukesha, Wisconsin on the 21st of November, 2021. Paradegoers watched in shock and horror as a red SUV traveling at an estimated 40 or even 50 miles per hour came barreling down Main Street in the historic downtown core of the small Milwaukee suburb. The sound of the marching band, chatter, and laughter was quickly overtaken with screams from onlookers and calls for help as the vehicle drove through the parade procession without stopping. In the chaos, the driver escaped, but not for long. A rapid and straightforward investigation pieced together the events, almost all caught on camera. Yet this case still culminated in one of the most bizarre and unpredictable trials in recent memory. This is the shocking case of the Christmas parade and the trial of Darrell Brooks. Let's take a look.
Get whatever you may need. Bro, I did not know, y'all. I did not know that he did not ran through the crowd, but drove through the crowd, drove through the parade with his car, bro. I'm thinking maybe it was a shooting or something. This motherfucker, bro, driving reckless as fuck through all these people, man. All these people standing out there, all these people in the parade marching down the street, and you just get your damn car. Excuse me. You just get your damn car and just take off, bro, going where he said, like 40 something. Man, he could have killed so many people, bro. Let's go.
For nearly 60 years on the Sunday before American Thanksgiving, the town of Waukesha, Wisconsin, near Milwaukee, has held its annual Christmas parade. Local businesses, community groups, and associations make up the parade lineup. In 2021, this included the Varsity Cheer Club, marching bands, the Old Car Club, and the Dancing Grannies, to name just a few. At the very end of the parade, of course, was a special appearance from Santa Claus. The festivities on the 21st of November 2021 began as they did in any other year. The theme was comfort and joy. Children handed out candy, families lined the streets in anticipation. The parade itself commenced around 4 p.m. Just after 4:30 p.m., parade attendees spotted a red SUV traveling quickly on a blocked-off road heading in the direction of the parade procession that had passed by only moments before. After breaking through barricades, the vehicle had taken a right turn onto Main Street, where a witness said it revved its engine before accelerating into the parade route. Witnesses recounted the rapid speed of the vehicle. Others noticed that it was honking. Some commented that the vehicle appeared to be veering from right to left in a kind of zigzag pattern, either to avoid those in its path or to target them. The scene was chaotic. It was unclear. Gunfire was heard in the vicinity of the vehicle. This was later determined to be law enforcement firing at the SUV in an attempt to stop it. In the chaos, some parade attendees registered only the noise of the shots and thought that it came from the red SUV out into the crowd. After traveling several blocks, the vehicle approached a group of parade participants rapidly from behind. The vehicle did not stop.
It kept going all the way down the block to People's Park, the stoplight, and continued straight through it.
It's a little bit difficult to process, just especially how fast everything went when we were downtown. You think in hindsight about what response you could have to stop the guy, and it's just, even if I was right in front of it, it would have been hard to stop.
Law enforcement, emergency personnel, and bystanders rushed to the assistance of those who had been struck by the vehicle. In the aftermath, there was chaos and confusion. People were uncertain whether they had witnessed a deliberate act or an accident. Belongings were abandoned along the sides of the street as people rushed to either assist or for a safe place. Storefronts along Main Street opened up to hundreds of people on the street who rushed inside. Many people could be heard calling out for their family members.
It's just absolute chaos, people screaming. This doesn't happen here. I don't understand why. I really don't understand why. It's just kids having a good time for Christmas, and then this SUV comes barreling through.
There were 5 parade participants that died at the scene.
Damn.
Tamara Durand, 52, had been marching with the Milwaukee Dancing Grannies for the first time. She worked as a teacher and was a chaplain at the Waukesha Memorial Hospital. Virginia Ginny Sorensen, 79, volunteered to carry a banner at the Waukesha Christmas Parade. She was a registered nurse and also a member of the Dancing Grannies. Another member of the group, Leanna Lee Owen, was 71 years old. She was from Cudahy, Wisconsin, and worked as an apartment manager. She left behind 2 sons. Wilhelm Hospel, at the age of 81, was the oldest victim of the Waukesha Christmas Parade crash. He was at the parade supporting his wife Lola, who was a dancing granny as well. Jane Kulik, 52, had marched with a Citizens Bank float. Jane had been described as a loving, beautiful, and charismatic mother, grandmother, and friend to so many. There were 62 individuals with additional injuries, including 18 children who were sent to hospital.
Damn. Bro, this dude fucked up a lot of people, bro. He killed them, what he said, 5? I think it was 5. He killed them, but the injured 18 kids on top of it. Bro, that was a chaotic ass scene, bro. I bet this shit was just hysteria everywhere. Don't nobody know what's going on. Everybody trying to find their family. Everybody trying to get safe, run to somewhere safe. Bro, people would think this shit a terrorist attack or anything, bro. This was crazy.
The red Ford Escape was discovered abandoned by the driver a few blocks away from the parade route in the driveway of a house. The neighbor next door said the SUV first drove through his backyard and sideswept a car in his driveway. The driver of the SUV was seen leaving the vehicle. He was wearing a gray sweatshirt, blue jeans, and sporting dreadlocks. Security cameras across the neighborhood captured the man's movements. He hid for a time in a child's playhouse where he discarded his gray sweatshirt, perhaps in an attempt to disguise himself. Now in a red t-shirt, the man was easily spotted on subsequent cameras as he made his way through the neighborhood roughly a half-mile away from the carnage on Main Street. As the victims of the incident were cared for and rushed off to hospital, law enforcement mobilized across the area to seek out the driver of the red SUV. Despite the proximity of the parade to the homes a half-mile away, news of what had occurred did not immediately reach the residents. Daniel Ryder, who'd been away on a hunting trip and was watching football when the crash occurred, said he had no idea about what had just happened. At just after 5 p.m., a man came to his door, shaking from the cold. He was captured on Daniel's doorbell camera.
Hey, I called an Uber, and I'm supposed to be waiting for it over here, but I don't know when it's coming. Can you call it for me, please?
It had been only 20 minutes since the SUV had torn through the parade route barricades, killing 5 people instantly and injuring dozens more. Daniel invited the man inside and gave him a jacket, made him a sandwich, and let him use his phone.
Daniel, you a little too goddamn nice to strangers. Shit, I gave him a jacket, made him a bologna sandwich, a ham sandwich, turkey? Man, shouldn't me. I might have let him use my phone, but that's it. And I would have been on edge the whole time. I don't trust people, bro. I don't trust people.
Outside, however, he could see police culminating on the street and he became nervous. Daniel asked the man to leave, which he did. But after another neighbor phoned the police, the man began to pound on the door again, claiming to have left his ID inside.
My ID! My ID!
Put your hands where I can see them. Put your hands up. Hands up. Hands up. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Do it now.
The man was arrested and brought in for questioning. His driver's license, which was found in his pocket, identified him as 39-year-old Darrell Brooks. Also in his pocket was a key to the wrecked Ford Escape, abandoned off of the parade route, which was registered in the name of his mother, Dawn Woods.
Got him.
We're no longer looking for a suspect vehicle. We do have a person of interest in custody at the moment, but this is still a very fluid investigation.
Darrell told investigators that a friend had driven him to Waukesha in his car. There he met with his ex-girlfriend, Erica Patterson, with whom he shares a teenage daughter. The two spoke briefly, and then he left, he said, on foot. Darrell denied driving the red SUV.
I'm trying to be as open and honest with you as I can be. You know, I'm Christian too, and believe me, I'm not perfect. And neither are you. And I'm not calling you a terrible man. I'm not saying you were out yesterday hunting, and just let me finish. But you did not walk to that house. You did not walk to that house. You did not come here in a tan Kia. You didn't.
And who?
You did not come out here in a tan Kia. Okay? You got a key in your pocket to a car, your mom's name. Okay? And that key works for that car. For the love of God, Marcus. For yourself, for your family. You know what happened yesterday. For the people. Tell me what happened.
With what?
With the car.
What am I being
With your mom's car. You were driving goofy, people called you in, you drove out of there in your mom's car, the red car, you were driving a little silly, probably because you're pissed. You met up with Erica in the car at the park. Now initially I believe you told us the gas station, do I have that right? A red Ford Escape. She got in, you talked, and what you're telling me seems pretty consistent, that there was nothing physical between the two of you.
No.
But you met her in the car.
I didn't put my hands on her. Nothing.
But you met her in the car.
What's going on, man?
Asking you a question.
Just be.
You were out there
Just tell
driving
me
kind of
what's
crazy.
going on,
Some
man.
people said you were driving kind of crazy. We got reports of it. You got the key. You got the car. Did you take the car, or did your mom give you the car? I know you know what car I'm talking about.
I just want to know. So
Some people
Now,
reported
listen,
all those
okay,
people out there that
no.
reported that car driving a bit erratic.
I know what you're saying. All I'm saying is this. We all been straight up with each other. You knew it was more to what you was asking me yesterday.
What?
Didn't know
That
for
would
sure.
explain the FBI and all that, right?
They're not here today. So if it's that big a deal, you don't see them here today.
Come on, Kurt. We been.
You guys met in the car in the park.
We been cool, man, the whole time. If I did something wrong,
That's why they were here. But do you see them here today? They're not here today.
Yeah, but y'all lied to me, man. You made it seem like they just come for no reason.
Well, here's the thing, Darrell.
And I'm like, what
Hey,
if it's
listen to me for a minute.
I apologize.
I can give you a clean slate
I
here.
apologize.
Because you have lied to us as well. Because you came out here in the red Ford Escape. Okay, that is what you came out here in. You had the key. Right?
He Mr. Dummy Man. So he gonna play the Mr. Dummy Man role. Like, I don't know what the hell happened. What are you guys talking about? Get the fuck out here, man. You know everything that happened, bro. So he more likely gonna deny this shit to the end. Let's go.
Overnight, law enforcement continued to interview Darrell Brooks. They found that he had an extensive criminal history already across multiple states, beginning with substantial battery charges against him made in Milwaukee County back in 1999. He had arrests for drug abuse as well as various violent incidents. In November 2006, Darrell was convicted of statutory sexual seduction after impregnating a 15-year-old girl in Sparks, Nevada.
What the
He was
fuck?
required to register as a sex offender. In the following years, he would repeatedly be caught disobeying these registration laws. In 2007, while in custody in Reno, Nevada, Darrell was interviewed for a documentary about methamphetamine addiction called Crystal Darkness. In the interview, Darrell speaks about his goals to be a good father before being caught up in addiction.
I didn't think about, I got this beautiful kid who's going without my time. I thought I would just be this wonderful father, just be the greatest dad ever. The vision is just like, I'm gonna give him everything that I didn't have. But then it's like, reality set in. You actually become the drug. Not even a human being. Basically. That's how I felt. Like I wasn't a human anymore. I was just something vile, disgusting, despicable. I could go on. I could use a lot of words, but that's what I became.
And you still is.
It's really what I became.
A few years later in 2011, and back in Wisconsin, Darrell was charged with resisting an officer during a traffic stop. During the stop, he turned on his car and put it in drive. The officer said he feared Darrell Brooks was going to run him over. By 2021, Darrell had spent over 20 years in and out of jail in Wisconsin, Nevada, and Georgia. But he also, crucially, had a long history of mental illness, first seeking treatment at the age of 12. Darrell's mother, Dawn, has stated that he suffers from bipolar disorder and a personality disorder. Without his medication, she described him as explosive.
I've been hearing Darrell slowly slipping for the past 2 months. Shouting, it's acting out, it's throwing chairs, it's destroying things. It's all of the above. It's like someone setting off a timer. Know when the manic is going to end and how far it's going to go.
On November 5th, only weeks before the Christmas parade, Darrell had been released on a $1,000 bond after running over his ex-girlfriend with a vehicle.
God damn.
On the day of the Christmas parade, Darrell arranged through a mutual acquaintance to meet with his ex-girlfriend Erica, the same ex with whom his heated exchange earlier on in the month had landed him in jail. The security camera for a nearby school captured Erica in a blue jacket, getting out of the red Ford Escape after speaking with Darrell. She returns moments later, followed by two friends, Corey and Nick. An altercation ensued, which occurred behind the obscured view of the security camera. A second camera partially captured the encounter. During the argument, Darrell was outside of the vehicle, facing off with Erica's friend and roommate Corey, who claimed he had swerved to try to hit Erica with his vehicle before she ran up to the scene. Erica reported being struck in the face by Darrell while they argued. Nick called the police. Exaggerating to elicit a rapid response, he claimed on the call that Darrell was in possession of a knife, which he was not. Regardless, this call to police prompted Darrell to drive off, but not before threatening to kill his ex-girlfriend. Minutes later, after walking Erica and Corey back to the women's shelter where they were staying, Nick watched as the same red SUV sped off towards Main Street. He said it took off like a bat out of hell, and watched as it drove through a crowd of people.
216, I need another at Hartwell and White Rock. I have another person at 48 and something. Okay.
Hey, when you ran me over the car, right now we're just following Main Street.
Wisconsin and West, I'm checking for injuries. There was someone running through the parade route at a high rate of speed.
I think we're going to show
3206, 1078, 1078.
Okay.
102! It is 1078! We have about 10 to 15 people down in the street!
Who assaulted you? Who ran? What is your name? Give me your name. Harris, what's your date of birth?
October 7, 1990.
So, 10/7/1990? Erica Patterson? Okay. Okay.
That's crazy, bro.
The state believed
Then he did this shit because he was fucking mad at his ex, bro. That's all this shit was, bro. There was a rage, motivated by rage, bro. Wow.
that it was this domestic dispute with Erica that had led to Darrell's rage-fueled rampage into the Christmas parade. But it was 5 charges of first-degree intentional homicide in addition to roughly 70 other counts relating to other victims' injuries and weapons charges that were brought against Darrell Brooks. On the day of his bond hearing, news came of a 6th heartbreaking death. 8-year-old Jackson Sparks had succumbed to his injuries at the Wisconsin Children's Hospital. His 12-year-old brother, Tucker, also seriously injured at the parade, would make a full recovery. Darrell Brooks' charges increased from 5 to 6 indictments for first-degree murder. He could be seen crying in the courtroom. His bail was set at $5 million, so he remained in custody. In February 2021, Darrell entered a plea of not guilty, followed by an insanity plea a few months later. But as the trial date approached, his defense took a turn when in early September, his public defenders requested to withdraw from the case. Darrell Brooks would represent himself, and he was revoking the insanity defense.
What has led to Darrell's behavior?
His mental illness, not being medicated. He always says, you know, Mama, I'm fighting for my life. And I said, I know that, baby. But we have to look at reality for what it is.
What is it?
You know, I said, you did do what they said you did, even though it wasn't intentional, but you did, you know, and you're going to have to go to prison.
Darrell's not an attorney. How do you think he's going to handle the proceedings?
I'm going to and I hate to say this, you're going to see manic, full blown. That's what you're going to see.
The trial for the state v. Darrell Brooks has been accurately described as a legal circus. Exactly what Don Woods had predicted and hoped to avoid. But Judge Doro had determined that Darrell Brooks was competent to stand trial and articulate and intelligent enough to represent himself.
Ain't nobody gonna talk to me like that. Nobody. I don't have a problem with doing what you asked me to do, not tell me. Just like when I asked you about subject matter jurisdiction that you have yet to prove on the record. But somehow I'm being intentionally disruptive. Come on, man. Stop. Just stop it.
I have to step in here and request that Mr. Brooks be instructed to stop making comments under his breath. This witness is very clearly having an emotional and difficult time testifying, and she doesn't need to hear that.
Objection. She can't hear anything I'm saying.
Mr. Brooks, the mics are very good in this courtroom.
No, ain't no please.
You are
nothing.
being disruptive.
Ain't
You
no
are being
please.
disrespectful.
You always
The
gonna
witness
find
may
some
step
reason to
down.
say somebody's being disruptive because they want the truth to be out there. Man, quit it. You supposed to be the
Mr.
judge.
Brooks, I'm advising you that continued interruptions will result in you forfeiting your right to be present in this courtroom.
Under what law and
during
fact can you do that?
Illinois versus Allen.
Okay,
sir.
but the fourth option that you made up, that's not even in the law.
Mr.
Because
Brooks,
you can't do that.
I need to make a
By law,
ruling.
you can't do
I
that,
need to
and
make
you
a
know you
finding.
can't.
All right, I'm going to excuse everyone. Mr. Brooks is being removed from the courtroom. He will continue in the neighboring courtroom. Please make sure he has his objection signed and a pad of
An empty courtroom next to the one where the proceedings were taking place served as a kind of timeout zone where Darrell was sent with some regularity when he refused to comply with court instructions.
I object to that because that's a lie.
Let
Because
him
at the end of the day,
Let
if
him
we
finish,
gonna open the door
Mr.
on that, no,
Brooks.
since he want to make a record and not be accurate, so let's be.
Bro, I ain't know he was gonna turn to a straight ass clown in fucking court, man. I believe dude just doing this shit just to stall time now, bro. Or he just that fucking crazy. I don't even think this some crazy shit like that though. I think it's like a video we seen from that chapter or somebody when somebody else was doing this, bro. Nigga he just acting an ass in court, bro, just to do the shit, bro. Trying to stall time and hope and keep his trial going as long as he can. That's what I think he ultimately trying to do.
Accurate all on the record since you think you know so much.
Once
So
again,
we can
Mr.
open the
Brooks
door
is
on.
being
We can
loud,
open the door on how old she told you she was when we
interrupting.
met. We can ask that question
He is
too. Then
over the
Did you
top
ask that?
animated
Do you
right
know
now.
that?
Mr. Brooks, I'm ordering you to sit down and to let the state
No,
finish.
I'm not going to sit here and let somebody be inaccurate on the record and lie on the record.
Right. Under Illinois versus Allen, I've warned him repeatedly. He's being removed from the courtroom.
Judge Doro had the ability to mute this room. When she took advantage of this, Brooks was reduced to holding up his objection sign, at which point he would be allowed to speak briefly to address his concerns.
I thought I was supposed to be unmuted.
You are now. All right. Attorney Opper, you may start.
Darrell's antics did not cease once he was removed to the neighboring courtroom. In one incident, he became non-responsive and hid behind a stack of legal boxes, forcing bailiffs to remove them. After a particularly heated encounter, Darrell stripped off his shirt and paced the room and threatened to break items. This occurred on the same day he refused to wear his suit to court, despite the chance that it served as a visual bias to the jury.
Criminal trespass to dwelling from 2006.
All right, I need to take a break. This man right now is having a stare down with me. It's very disrespectful. He pounded his fist. Frankly, it makes me scared.
As the trial neared conclusion, most observers were still unable to pinpoint exactly what the defense argument was, though there was a laundry list of assertions being made. The first was the declaration by Darrell that he was a sovereign citizen.
Oh, shit.
Essentially, he insisted that despite residing in the country, he conveniently does not accept that he is a citizen of it, and as such, he cannot be bound by U.S. laws, the rules of the court, or any other government authority. Judge Doro rejected his attempts to use the sovereign citizen defense, finding it to be meritless. This did not stop Darrell from questioning the court's jurisdiction over him, repeatedly.
Subject matter jurisdiction has to be proven for the record. Has to be proven. Has to be proven. You know that just as well as
Mr. Brooks,
you know that.
please do not make statements that mischaracterize the law.
You know it has to be proven.
Or that
for the
impugn the
record.
integrity of this court.
You know it has to be proven
and the
on the
proceedings
record.
here.
You know
The
it
jury
has
is
to be proven.
advised to disregard the statements that Mr. Brooks is making regarding subject matter jurisdiction. They are not evidence, and you are to disregard them.
In another bizarre attempt to divert all responsibility outright, Darrell Brooks began to insist that he was not, in fact, Darrell Brooks.
What?
He did not legally recognize his own name or consent to being called to Darrell Brooks. In part, this seemed to be based on an objection to court records that contained his name typed in all capital letters. As prosecution witnesses took the stand and referred to him by name, he registered his objections. On the record, each time.
How would you describe Mr. Brooks's haircut today?
Objection, I don't consent to being called that name.
Oh. Sir, I understand your objection. Please do not interrupt with that further so that the questioning of the witnesses may continue. You may answer.
If you say that name, I'm objecting.
And the jury will disregard the objection if it's solely for the name purposes.
Bro, and I think with that, as far as that name shit go too, I think it got something to do with him claiming to be a sovereign citizen. Cause you know these crazy ass, dumb ass wanna be sovereign citizens out here. They act like they government name that they got on their birth certificate when they was born. They act like that's not even their real name. So I think that had something to do with it. Dude was in jail studying a book for sovereign citizens, some bullshit ass book that somebody wrote, and he tried to work that into his case, but it ain't gonna work.
Accepting that Darrell Brooks is Darrell Brooks, and that he is a U.S. citizen, the defense then suggested that the driver of the SUV could not be identified. He questioned many of the victims and other parade witnesses as to whether they had clearly viewed the driver of the vehicle. The underlying assertion was that whoever the defense was claiming to be, he was not driving the SUV, despite being captured on camera doing so.
Mr. Brooks, do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, I do, and I object to being called that name for the record.
I was positive it was you.
Who is you?
You. I'm looking at you.
To further establish this point, the prosecution introduced a music video of the man previously known as Darrell Brooks. In the video, the defendant is seen rapping in front of the same red Ford Escape that was later weaponized to commit the alleged murders.
Got him.
Just testified that this was the alleged defendant. How do you know that? Can you see a face?
Which question are you asking? Those were two.
Can you see the face on the circled individual in that exhibit?
In this clip, I cannot see the face of the person that is circled.
So how do you know who it is?
I can tell who that is because I have watched this video in its entirety, and I can tell that it is you based on all of my contacts with you.
The Waukesha District Attorneys called 57 witnesses to the stand over 11 days, including police officers, parade goers, victims, family members of victims, and nearby residents who encountered Darrell Brooks the day of the parade. In her closing statement, District Attorney Susan Opper drew a necessary distinction in their case between that of intention and motive. Although the state argued that Darrell was prompted into a rage by his argument with Erica, this does not translate into a motive to injure and kill strangers. At no point did the state present a motive. Legally, they didn't need to. But also chillingly, they admitted to not knowing what the motive was. It was just senseless. True. The key charges of first-degree murder, however, required they prove intent. And that intent was obvious. District Attorney Opper said it was in Darrell Brooks's actions when he drove through the crowd and just kept going.
True.
Big things in this case has always been, why did this happen? What was he thinking? Why did he do this? Again, those are things I don't necessarily have to prove to you. His intent, I do have to prove, and I submit without any doubt there's overwhelming evidence that this was an intentional act by Darrell Brooks and an act of utter disregard for human life.
True.
I say that for these reasons, folks. Number one, first and foremost, just stop driving.
Exactly.
That's intent, folks. No reasonable person is going to come across a group of teenagers playing band instruments, drive over them and keep going.
The defense argued that there was no intent. Witnesses had testified that the SUV was honking its horn, a warning to the individuals in its way. Furthermore, based on no evidence whatsoever, it was argued that the SUV itself was defective and could not be stopped. This assertion was in direct opposition to testimony already presented by the prosecution at trial. A mechanical inspector for the Wisconsin State Patrol examined the red Ford Escape, and he did not find any problems with it that could have interfered with the vehicle's ability to steer, accelerate, or brake.
Which brings me back to the vehicle. What if the vehicle couldn't stop because of the malfunction?
Objection of fact, not in evidence.
What if the driver of the vehicle was unable to stop the vehicle? Does that make the driver a crazed, or not crazed, a rage? Does that make the driver in a rage and intent on killing people? You have the decision.
The jury deliberated for an hour and a half after a long final day in court. By 11 a.m. the next morning, the verdict was in on all 76 counts.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Darrell E. Brooks, guilty of first-degree intentional homicide.
Each of the 6 first-degree murder convictions carries a mandatory life sentence. Judge Doro is tasked with deciding the sentencing on the other 70 charges. These will be handed down at a hearing in mid-November. It is expected that over 30 victims will offer impact statements at this hearing.
I mean, excuse me again. It don't even matter now, y'all. It don't even matter shit. Yo, it's confirmed he locked up for the rest of his life. I mean, it do matter because he should still, be found guilty of those additional charges too, just because. You know what I'm saying? But hey, his ass gone. He through. It's over with.
Hopefully this will bring awareness to mental illness via our senators and our governors and elected officials, court, police. Very little help is done for individuals who are incarcerated with mental illness.
Darrell Brooks has 20 days from sentencing to file a notice that he intends to appeal his conviction, which he plans to do. In fact, it has been widely speculated that much of his bizarre behavior and endless objections were in part purposefully designed for this one central purpose: to build a case for appeal and to have the conviction overturned.
Nah.
Discussion since the verdict was announced that perhaps the decision to represent himself is grounds for appeal. Are you concerned at all about that?
Well, Mr. Brooks has a right to an appeal. Every defendant does. And I fully expect him to take advantage of his rights as a convicted defendant in this case. I am very confident in the record that Judge Darrell made and his decision to represent himself. Yes.
It will take months, if not years, for this appeal to the case to be filed, presumably by one or more qualified lawyers. And that was the tragic case of the Waukesha.
Y'all, man, I ain't expect this shit to go nowhere near how it went, bro. I'm thinking, goddamn, that somebody went to a parade and like shot some people or some shit, like a mass shooting. But I kind of think in a way, bro, that I remember seeing this on the news, bro, about the dude, because I remember seeing that SUV, I think, man. I don't know, bro. But this dude, man, bro, I can't really buy that he was, well, he crazy. Anybody who do that shit is crazy. But I feel like he was just putting on a show in court, man. I just feel like he was just being an ass, trying to just be the biggest ass he can, bro, until he actually get convicted and trying to slow the process down and just trying to be a fucking dumbass, just trying to do it because that's all he got left to do. He can't do nothing else. You know what I'm saying? But then he did try to get his way up out of it with that sovereign citizen shit and a lot of other shit, but the other shit was bullshit. Like when he was talking about, oh, how you know that's me? How y'all know that's me in that video? Bro, the video long as fuck. Just cause your face ain't showing why you got your back turned. The rest of the video, I ain't gonna say the rest of it, but it's plenty times in that video where we could have seen your face like that. I don't know, man. This dude here was just a fucking character, y'all. This was another great one by Just Thought Lounge, bro. Hey, we add them to the list, man. We put them in the group, bro. We put them in the group with Anna and Mike and Mr. Ballin and all the rest of them, bro. Because we definitely coming back to this channel, man. This dude does an amazing job, for real, bro. I'm fucking with it hard. I digress. Y'all just hit that like, comment, subscribe, all that other good shit right there. And I'll see y'all back again tomorrow, my friends. But until then, the Bean Baby Legend.